Well, hello and welcome to the Power of Your Mind podcast. You are listening to episode number 118. That's 118. I'm Victoria Gallagher, Law of Attraction hypnotist and #1 best-selling author of Practical Law of Attraction, Align Yourself with the Manifesting Conditions and Successfully Attract Your Desires. I'm also the founder of HipTalk.com and HypnoCloud apps, which gives you access to over 500 hypnosis recordings right in the palm of your hand. So be sure to download that app from the Apple and Google Play app stores. Today, I have a very special guest with me, Michele Blood. Michele Blood is a successful, multi-talented lady. In addition to creating MusiVation products and seminars worldwide, her public mystical success events have been held in over 16 countries. Her largest audience was 50,000 in Kuala Lumpur after many years of meditation. Michele's Kundalini awakened and transformed her consciousness. And she now teaches others how to live a mystical life and experience divine oneness, which is the true heart of true happiness, success, and purpose in one's life. And she can also be found at micheleblood.com and themysticalexperience.com. She's also the author of The Magic of Affirmation Power, Become a Magnet to Money Through the Sea of Unlimited Consciousness with Bob Proctor, and The Practice of Meditation. And so later on, we're going to talk about few gifts that Michele has for us. And so stay to the end to learn about those. And so today, Michele is going to be sharing some of her insights on the magic of affirmation power. So welcome to the show, Michele.
Thank you, Victoria. Really, really happy to be here with you with a like-minded soul.
Yes, definitely. Definitely. We have that, you know, the power of affirmations and talking about how these things work to bring us more abundance and improve our mindset, more success. So thank you so much for sharing about, and you also write about meditation, which is another one of my favorite things. So I'm really, really excited to get to learn all about your gifts and your special talents and the ways that you help transform people's minds and their relationship with success. So you write about meditation and self-realization, and you have people that are students of your mystical experience from all over the world. So how did they become a part of that, and how does that help transform somebody's consciousness?
Well, I think first of all, if I share a little bit of my journey, I feel that it'll make more sense, because you'll see from where I came and
Yes.
the absolutely unique things that happened to me along the way, from being a rock and roll singer in Australia, you know, to doing what I'm doing now and have what happened to me, because it just shows everybody that it doesn't matter where you come from, your education, your cultural upbringing. We are all spiritual beings, and we all have the power within us to have great transformation. So I'll begin with the story. I'll make it short, really long story, as short as possible and as entertaining as possible.
Take your time. I'd love to hear it.
Thank you. So, yes, you can hear the accent. G'day, mate. I'm Australian.
I love it. I love Australia. I'm so bummed that, this year it was going to be my first time ever going to Australia, and that trip kind of got canceled with certain things that are going on right now in the world.
Yeah.
But, I just love Australian people. I love Australia. So that's just another reason why I'm so happy to have you on the show, is to listen to your wonderful Australian accent.
Yeah, Aussies are great. So are Americans. I think everyone's great, actually. I've lived in so many different countries, Asia, everywhere. And I find that everybody is the same. Everyone wants to be happy and free. Mm-hmm. They want to do something that feels purposeful in their life. Every single person I've ever met. It doesn't matter what they're going through right now. Everyone can overcome anything. It's totally, everything is possible. So how I learned how everything is possible, I started singing on television at the age of 5 years of age. And eventually I had, I put together many, many different rock bands over the years. And finally I got a really, really good rock band. And you won't find that on the internet because I changed my name later. But you'd have to do a lot of digging. But I can always show you some of the old rock and roll videos that are hysterical.
Yeah, I'd love to. That's just another thing we have in common. I grew up wanting to be a singer. I was a singer. I had a little rock band myself. So it's just one more little thing we have in common there.
Wow. Cool. That is cool. So you're definitely a free spirit then. So anyway,
for sure.
After many, many years and different lineup changes, and I finally got like the band I was really happy with. I was the manager of the band, the co-songwriter, the main songwriter, the business manager. I got the agents, the record labels, everything. And we were absolutely killing it, Victoria. We were touring all around Australia nonstop. At one stage, we didn't have a break for 7 years.
Oh.
Our audiences were anywhere between 2,000 to 6,000 people every night, even if it was a Monday night. And it was really building up. We were getting interest in international record labels as well, because we'd already signed with Warner Brothers in Australia. Started doing lots of great videos. And so I was on purpose, even though it's a tough life, it's a really, really tough life. You have to be very, very disciplined, very, very hardworking. And I wouldn't speak all day, so I could save my voice for singing hours and hours every night. The thing that I loved the most, that I would look forward to, is when we got to be the backup band for like people like the Pretenders. We worked with every major, artist that came out. We would be their support act and travel, because then we'd only have to do one set. And that was the easiest thing in the world for me, just to do a 45-minute set rather than 6 45-minute sets. So I had a lot of discipline, and we were really good. We loved our audiences. Everyone in the band were just fantastic at what they did. And so I was never looking at metaphysics or meditation. I liked mystical things. I used to like reading about St. Teresa of Avila and different deeper mystical things, but I wasn't really, the periphery of metaphysics and New Age thought wasn't in my head. I'm doing what I love to do. I wasn't searching for anything else. It was perfect. But then on my way home, not my way home, our way home, the band, it's very, very long drives in between each city in Australia, because they're miles and miles in between. So after 12 hours or 14 from Brisbane to Sydney, the truck driver, and there's always a passenger with the truck driver. One of us stays awake if we can, and with all the equipment in the back. And I fell asleep. It was a really, really cold night, and we had the heat on, and he fell asleep and went into a telegraph pole, and the truck went over and all the equipment went into me. So I was absolutely smashed, the body. I mean, they really didn't think I was going to come through the first night or the second night. And eventually, after many long operations, the longest being 17 and a half hours, but I was told that I would have, if I did walk again, it would definitely not be doing cartwheels across a big stage again or jumping off speakers. It wouldn't be anything like that. It would be no diving into the audience. I mean, it's a rock band,
Yes.
So,
oh my goodness.
So I felt not just depressed, but suicidal, because I couldn't imagine not being able to perform like that. And, my aunt and different people would say, but you can still sing, you can still write songs. And I said, yeah, but it's not the same. I work so hard because I love entertaining. I love being on stage. I'm just, if you talk about meditation, to me, it was like I was just one with the audience, one with everything. And to be able to get to that stage, you have to have a lot of kahunas, because the Australian audiences are tough. I mean, so many bands would say, how do you do it? We get beer cans thrown at us. And I said, never had a beer can thrown at me. Thank you very much. I know how to handle those boys. If someone says, show me your tits, I'll say, no, you show me yours first. So nothing scared me, except this is the first time I felt so much fear, because I wasn't just in physical agony. I was in emotional agony as well. So what happened to me was people started bringing me positive tapes to listen to, because I couldn't read because I still couldn't move. No pillow, just flat. I think I was still in traction at that stage, getting ready for the next operation. So anyway, I couldn't turn these tapes off. And listen to me, people. Do you know what it's like when you're not feeling 100% and someone walks in like they're shitting daisies? They're so happy. And, you know, it's like, you're just like, "Arr, arr." You know, "Hi, Michelle, how you doing? Come on, turn that frown upside down." You just want to get rid of them, because when you're in that state, you want them to be sympathetic. That you want them, "Oh, you poor thing," you know, you want them to be in that same vibration.
They're not matching your energy. They're not pacing with you. It's, you know, so like, but so these tapes are going, you can't even turn them off because you can't move, and you're just having to listen.
And I didn't like any of them except one. Except one. One of them changed my life. It was Napoleon Hill's book, Think and Grow Rich.
Oh my goodness.
Earl Nightingale.
Love that book.
From that book. And if anyone's ever heard the late and great Earl Nightingale, his voice was the most beautiful tenor. And being a singer, you know, I'm always listening to sound, and I loved hearing the tone of his voice. And none of the book made any sense to me. I didn't care about these entrepreneurial millionaires in the 1920s and 30s in America. Who cares about Henry Ford? You know, it's not going to change my life, you know. But what did was when Napoleon Hill said, "My little boy was born deaf, completely 100% deaf." So I would go into his room every night and use auto-suggestion, which nowadays we call affirmations. And I would speak into my little boy where he's supposed to be able to hear, where the ears were supposed to be. And I would say, "Eardrum, you hear perfectly. You are astounding. You are astonishing. You're healthy. You're positive. You are a great soul, a great spirit, and you hear perfectly." So he went on to put his little boy in normal school, wouldn't put him in a hearing loss school, deaf school. And he went on to get 30% of his hearing by the time he was 5. And then he went on later on in life to become one of the most successful entrepreneurs in the hearing aid industry, and end up being able to hear 100%. And there was something about that. I said, okay, I believe this. There's something about this that I know is true. I feel it in my heart of hearts. And I've always had a very, very good BS gauge. Any rock and roll singer does. When you're working with those people called agents, you're like, "Yeah, sure, I believe you." You know, so I believed this. So I thought, I'm going to do this. I want to be healed. So I'm going to do this auto-suggestion. I'm going to create an affirmation. So Napoleon Hill said, auto-suggestion, it's very important that you have to emotionalize it, because then it'll go into the treasury of your subconscious mind. And this is way before there was any such thing as neuroscience, you know. So he was just saying this because from his experience and from all these studies he'd done, this is what needs to happen. If you don't emotionalize the affirmation, it won't go into your subconscious mind.
Exactly. I love the quote, you know, plain old unemotionalized words have no impact on the subconscious.
However, they do through music.
Oh.
See, as a
But doesn't the music bring out the emotion?
Well, let me finish.
Okay. I'm
it's a little bit of both. But
yes,
so what I did was I was doing, so I created an affirmation, "I am healed," because I totally wasn't healed. So that's good. Good start. I love myself. I am my friend. Didn't love myself, was suicidal. So I thought, oh, I've got the perfect affirmation. I am healed. I know I am. I love myself. I am my friend. And I was doing this for about a week, and I didn't feel emotionally better in any way. And I was like, I can't emotionalize this for it to go into my subconscious mind, because I'm in physical agony. And the doctors are telling me this, the nurses are saying this, people are coming in and going, "Oh, what a shame, your career." Anyway, so I thought, no, I'm just going to give that up. It doesn't work. You know, you've got to be a healthy person for this to work. But then a week later, I was in the middle of the night in the hospital bed, and it was like, oh my gosh, I've even written jingles for advertising agencies over the years for extra money. You can't get a jingle out of your head. You can't get a pop song out of your head. Why do children sing the ABCs and remember it then? Immediately they remember it, because the left side of the brain is where the logic is, the words are. The right side is the creative side, which is where the music is. So when you have music with these, lyrics, well, then it goes straight into your subconscious mind. You can't get it out.
Ooh.
You don't have to emotionalize it. You don't even have to like the song. I mean, just because you hear an advertising jingle over and over, it could be annoying to you. You're not emotionalizing it, you're just listening to it. It goes straight into your subconscious mind. Yes, of course, if you sing along, like you said before, and you feel happy listening to it, that does lift your vibration. It'll go in even faster. So yes, definitely that. But you don't have to emotionalize it. You just have to listen to it and let it go into your subconscious mind. And so what happened was, I was completely healed after 4 months after the hospital. And the doctor said that was impossible. It was just crazy how healed I was from. So, I won't go into all the broken bones and the steel plates in my body and everything. And I love the doctors. The doctors did their very, very best. And I love the medical profession. But if you want to go a step further with your healing, whether it's emotional or physical or both, you must go beyond allowing what the doctors say. You've got to go into knowing that everything is possible for you. So their singing affirmations help tremendously. But what happened was, journalists in Australia said, hey, that singer Michele, blah, 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 her band, she's had this car accident and she healed herself through some sort of music that she sang to herself. And so then I was on television, and certain rock magazines and stuff started interviewing me about these affirmation songs, which I had no intention of giving to the world. I went into a studio and I started creating more and more of these songs for myself. Because I said, if that worked, that one little I Am Healed song, well, imagine doing all these other songs. I'll have my band signed up with a record contract in England and America in no time at all.
Yeah.
I just knew it, So I started writing about success and persistence and all these different things, being magnet to money and all these different things to assist myself, that I loved myself, that the world was beautiful, just I am love. So many of these beautiful songs that really were transmitting to me in a way that really worked. So then, because of the journalists, then promoters were coming to me and they were saying, look, we want you to do this gig. We've got this gig with Deepak Chopra, Wayne Dyer, we've got another one with Bob Proctor, we've got another one with Louise Hay, blah, 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 all these people. And I had no clue who they were because it wasn't in my periphery. I'd never been interested in that type of positive thinking because I was always pretty happy and positive and on purpose. But I said, oh, no, I don't think I'd be interested in doing that. And I said, no, you just have to sing, just have your backing music, sing in between, speak a little bit about your story, you package your own CDs, cassettes, put them at the back of the room, sell them. We'll just take 10%, plus we'll pay you $5,000 a gig. And I was like, are you insane? I mean, our band would be lucky to make $2,000 in profit a month after paying the road crew and the trucks and everything. I was like, yeah. Hell yeah, I'll do it.
Oh, that's awesome.
So then all these people I met said, look, this is astonishing. Especially Bob Proctor. He said, we all teach the same thing. We all teach about the mind, the power of the mind and how you've got to use auto-suggestion and intention and goal setting. And you've got everyone up on their feet singing along to these really, really cool, simple little affirmation songs. And Bob Proctor, he said to me the first night we were in Sydney, he came back to the green room and he said, I did not want a singer to be on tour with me in Australia. I'm Bob Proctor. I got plenty of people. I don't need some little pop singer bringing in extra people like the promoter said. Mm-hmm. And he said, but after listening to those songs, he said, I've only heard 3 of them so far. I know every single lyric. He said, this is absolutely astonishing. It is amazing. I want to work with you. I want you to sing at every one of my gigs. I want you to work with me all over the world. And so then it went on and on and on from there. So that was the beginning of something amazing. I broke up my band after 6 months, gave them plenty of notice so their wives would kill me. Anyway, and so that's how my journey, that's the beginning of my journey into mysticism and awakening and the mystical experience. So it's been absolutely a very unique story because I did not do it for any reason except to heal. And I thank God that my Auntie Jan put that cassette on that I couldn't turn off. And I, God bless Napoleon Hill every day.
Yes. Oh my God. That is an amazing story. First of all, I love Think and Grow Rich was probably one of my first introductions to personal development. And it's like one of those books you just have to read it year after year. I've found to just, you know, continue to absorb more and more of the information. It's just so rich. I mean, literally. But, you know, the power of singing affirmations, I've actually had people sing affirmations in my seminars, and it's kind of like the funny, like I've actually had them where they link up a pop song, something that they're, you know, really familiar with affirmations. And it's just so fun. And it just, I can see it makes perfect sense to me how it's linking, you know, the creative mind, the right mind with the logical mind, and saying, and keeping it really simple and keeping it really fun. And I love the way that you got in, you kind of fell into that realization. It's so it's such an amazing story. And I'm so thankful for, you know, the fact that you had that. I mean, it was not a great way, you know, but we all have that bad moment in our life that turned into something amazing. So I'm kind of thankful that you had to go through that, unfortunately, but fortunately, because it turned you into who you are today, and you're able to help so many people, you know, with this amazing, you know, power.
Yeah. I mean, what happens is, when I've been telling people to do that for years, I say, look, if you don't like my music, listen to it anyway. It'll change your life. However, if there is music you like, get some backing karaoke music and write your own lyrics and sing along to it. Anything that will assist you to change your life is worth doing. And it's fun. It's fun that way.
So
and
now, do you sell like, downloads and CDs and things with your singing these affirmations?
We've sold millions of them. Millions.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. That's
We're
amazing.
Everywhere. Spotify, iTunes, Amazon, Barnes & Noble, everywhere, all over the world.
And do you have them like in certain categories? I mean, like for abundance and for health and for love and things like that?
Yeah, I just finished doing because I got over 400 songs, and I just finished doing a compilation called Create Miracles and Harmonize Your Life with Affirmation Power. And I've chosen 12 of the most powerful songs that have really changed people's life. And so we've just got that has just been released, that CD, or on iTunes or wherever. And, you know, we've got songs for motivation, songs for success, songs for healing. We've even got this beautiful, Dr. Chopra asked me to do this, and so I did. I put together this album for kids called You Can Do It, Self-Esteem Songs for Kids. And it's just for little kids, 5 and under, 6 and under maybe. No, they're too mature in America, probably 4 and under here.
Right.
And what I did was I would put a little, because I'm really good at doing voices, different voices. So I would do these little baby animals that, like Goldie the dove and the panda and all this sort of thing, and the Bengal tiger, and Dr. Chopra said my Indian accent was better than his. I said, I know.
Let me hear it. Let me hear it.
Not right this second.
Okay.
It's so it's hysterical. So many of the parents that bought it for their kids say they listen to it all the time. The little baby animal comes on, and it's always an animal that I teach about. They teach about where they come from, what they eat, if they're an endangered species, you know, Coqui the frog, and it's just so many beautiful things. And then I have them sing along with me. So the voiceover, they sing along with me. Sometimes I just have to change the pitch so it sounds like, like a little dove. And kids love that, you know, really, really simple little songs for kids. And so, yeah, we've got lots of different categories. Yeah.
That is amazing. I had no idea that you had this talent. This is, I mean, it really makes sense though that you've taken what you used to do as a rock and roll singer. You went through this transformation, this transition into, you know, the positive thinking, the positive affirmations, and then combine the two. And now you're still singing and you're still getting to do what you love, but you're also helping the world in a much deeper way than before. I love it. And so how long are your affirmation songs?
Oh, it depends. Usually, a couple of them are about 5 minutes, but usually about 4 minutes.
4 or 5 minutes. Okay. So they're just like regular
4 or 5
songs.
minutes.
And
Yeah.
are they kind of repetitive?
Well, not really,
Like,
because it's more like the chorus is repeating over and over again. It doesn't have like verse, chorus, bridge, guitar solo.
I was going to ask. Right.
Actually,
So it's
some
pretty
of them
much
do.
like this, the same
Some of them
repetitive.
do. Because Bob Proctor wanted to write lyrics. He said, I know if I meditate, I'll be able to write lyrics. And so the first song he did was called Decision.
Mm-hmm.
And he gave me all these lyrics. And I said, that's a little bit too many lyrics for an affirmation song. And he said, give it a go anyway. But they were really quite good, the lyrics. And so I went into the studio and wrote it that night, and he just loved it. So he ended up writing about 14 more songs with me. So the songs that I wrote with Bob are more, I mean, one of them just went into the semi-finals for some big song contest in America that I did with Bob. So, you know.
Nice.
So there are some like that. And I still kept, you know, writing just normal songs and had them in different languages and had them top of the charts in different Asian countries, and I'd started singing in Asian languages. But what happened, that is the most important thing for people to know. Okay, that is the beginning. That's a beginning for you.
Yeah.
That is a beginning to bring your frequency up, because if you're stuck right now, and so many people are, and you want to rethink and reevaluate and maybe go into a different career, reinvent yourself, it is so important that you are vibrating at a faster frequency. The frequency, we all vibrate at a frequency, and that is where you will resonate with the things that you want in your life that you haven't been able to get. And it's because you have this beautiful diamond. This is your higher self.
That is a beautiful diamond.
And it's on this sea. The sea of unlimited consciousness is where you actually live now. You don't live in this dimension. You just think you do. You think it's real because it's solid, but it's not. You live, but people can't attract what they want in their life because of the fact that they keep having all of these emotional issues, and little blobs start covering this diamond. And people do the affirmations, and that gets them up to a certain degree. It definitely brings their frequency up to a faster degree than they ever had before, particularly if they do visualization exercises and meditation. It's really, really good. But they've still got these blobs. So they're still there, and they're covering the diamond. See, the diamond is God. It is your higher self. And when you speak your truth, and if you're plugged into your diamond, you're one with it and you can feel it, God goes before you immediately, the divine presence, the holy light, whatever you choose to call it. And it brings back, because this world is just God's dream, it brings back into manifestation whatever it is you wish to experience. However, if you're too clogged, this has to be polished. And I wanted to know, how could that be polished? Because I would still have things that made me scared. I would still have fearful times. I would still be embarrassed occasionally. And I knew that that wasn't the truth. I wanted to feel my diamond. I wanted to release all the judgment, human emotion. I wanted to feel that light that I was feeling, because I'd already started feeling like, I used to say to people, I feel like my heart is glowing out of my chest. What is that? And someone said, oh, it's your heart chakra has been slightly activated. And I was like, yeah, I don't know about that sort of stuff. But I went on a quest, and I started studying deep mysticism all over the world. I went everywhere. And I was looking for someone who knew God, enlightened, self-realized, because all the ones I'd read about were already dead or left the body, whatever you choose to say, ascended. I wanted to find someone alive that could teach me. Eventually, after many years of searching, I was meditating. I was going into higher and higher experiences, but I was still human, you know? And so I eventually resonated to a high enough frequency that I attracted into my life the most amazing enlightened teacher. She doesn't now, but she did for years in America, of all places. And when I walked into this little room, she only had a little lamp, and I saw her hands were glowing. I'm like, can't anyone else see this? Because when you're at a certain frequency, you can see things that other people can't because their diamond is so blocked, their higher self.
Agree. Yeah.
And so she agreed to teach me. And after 4 to 5 years of intense study, I finally started going through what's called the Stargate, having these amazing experiences that you cannot understand. You go into divine dimensions. And then eventually, after years and years, my Kundalini, my enlightenment came back. And I realized I'd had it before in past lives, and I'd been with her as my teacher in past lives. And so now, through the mystical experience, this is what I teach, because every human being on this planet has to go beyond. You can make a killing and you can become very successful, but then you could lose it again. And if you're too attached to the things that you want to keep, you'll always be in fear of losing something that you have, or fear of not getting something that you want. You've got to go beyond the fear, because when you jump over and you go through that door, even if you're on the way. So the mystical experience, particularly now that we do these amazing, huge Zoom meetings where I've got this huge screen in front of me and everyone can see each other. It's great.
Oh,
so
that's great.
The people that are part of it, the people that are part of it can network together. They can go into certain types of positive thinking and affirmations and goal setting. Sometimes we'll mastermind someone if they really require some assistance. And we meditate. I teach them how to meditate. And like my teacher could transmit light, now I do. So that light from the consciousness, it's like you're not plugged in, but then once the light comes on eternally, you're plugged in 24/7, and the divine uses you, uses your intention, uses you. So it's not me doing it. It's just I'm that bulb. I've been plugged in because I don't know how it works. I just know what to do for it to work. And so we have had people healed. We have had people that just wanted to begin with have more success and more money in their life because they were going through some rough times. And that light doesn't just, because affirmations and stuff will coat and sort of shine this a bit, but it doesn't dissolve those little blobs of envy, jealousy, whatever it is, fear. You have to pop them.
Yeah. So what I'm understanding is, so a person, to kind of get their frequency to a level where they're even receptive to that light and to having those mystical experiences, you got to bring them from this lower frequency, this lower vibration, to a higher frequency, a higher vibration. And you do that with the affirmations. But then from there, then they're ready to to do more advanced, spiritual, mystical experiences, so that they can elevate and so that they can get to those amazing connections with the divine and really just get to their next level in their spiritual path.
Well, yes and no.
Okay. All right. Because you're just giving so much information. It's like, wow, it's like a water hose, of information.
Yeah, exactly. So we're tempting to go, keep it simple and spiritual, but sometimes it just goes deep. Yeah. See, even right now, anyone who's listening or watching is having light transmitted to them. Mm-hmm. And they can feel it. They can start to feel tingling in the top of their head, and they will feel it. Some people won't feel it, but it'll still affect them positively straight away without them ever using an affirmation. So I like to assist them to get into a faster vibration so that they can then get up and have the willpower to start seeing opportunities and things that they couldn't see before. So sometimes it goes the other way around. They have light transmitted to them, because sometimes I'll do it for the public, like twice a year, because it's my 11th year of my anniversary coming up of my enlightenment. And so I do 34 days. For anyone can sign up and have 34 days. I gaze their picture every day and have light transmitted to them. And people that, like, for example, this lady in Ireland, her husband was totally not into wanting to be any part of the mystical experience or meditation, Anne O'Donoghue, but her husband, Patrick, but she is. And he respects that. He's fine. and, you know, they're grandparents. And then he got pancreatic cancer, really bad. And so she just had me do that for 30 days for him, and he's completely, you know, the doctor said it's a miracle. So that can happen without the person even knowing it's being done for them. So the light transmits to them and it removes things, so that even if someone's got something in their body that they don't even know yet, it'll bring them back to their original blueprint. Because I know I was singing the I Am Healed song. However, now I know more. Now I know that when you pray, you allow the divine to do what the divine does best. You don't say someone needs protection, because that's duality. That's saying on one hand they're in danger, and the other hand they're protected. So you don't say I'm protected. You say you're 100% God governed. You can say the divine presence has gone before me and prepared the way. And we do tons of affirmations together. Sometimes we've been doing these free Zoom meetings, and beautiful people like yourself that are out there doing wonderful things to uplift and inspire people. Even though the podcast people that have interviewed me, hundreds of them, come onto the Zoom meetings and they get guests that way. They meet people from all over the world. They find each other and interview each other. I mean, we're just having a blast since this big Zoom.
Oh, I love that idea.
Yeah,
I do.
So you're welcome. You're welcome to come and introduce yourself. Tell everyone what you're doing anytime at all, Victoria.
So when do you do, how often you do these monthly, you said, or how often do you do the Zoom meetings?
Well, I do approximately 2 to 3 a month for the Mystical Experience members, because some of them just not really into going deep into meditation practice or mysticism yet, but they want to have a better life. So it's for any level. And then if someone wants to become like a diamond member, well, then they've got me 100% every day. And they have like, but I only allow 30 people a month, because I can't do that. I don't choose to have too many people at the diamond level. But the gold and platinum level, they get, you know, a certain amount of light transmissions every week. They get access to all the past videos and webinars since 2006. They have every sort of thing that they would ever want to study. I mean, sometimes I've taught people, because I had a course called How to Write a Book in 30 Days. Ooh. That is taught in a London school right now. And lots of things that I've learned and done, anything that I've learned that I've had to experience, because I had to learn the hard way myself, I did my best to simplify it. So it's not just mysticism. We have fun with teaching lots and lots of different things, and with assisting people and getting their websites out there. Like this one lady was a great baker, and now we have assisted her to become what's called the mystical baker. She makes these Buddha cakes, and they're beautiful. Just go to themysticalbaker.com. It's amazing. I don't get any money from it. She's just one of the members, and she sells these and ships them all around America, and people just love them. They come with little gold forks or gold wings or Buddhas, whatever you want. So that was all from her saying, what am I going to do now? And I just said, well, you're a baker. Do you still enjoy baking? Why don't you do that? And then she came up with the idea of making them spiritual cakes, like with Buddhas, Om signs, and you know, she even has, you know, she keeps adding to stuff. Elizabeth, she's even added like an Om sound when you open it. Om.
Oh, how neat. So you really help people to transform into who they were meant to be, and help them to live their purpose, live out their spiritual purpose and their divine purpose.
Want everyone, I know that the most important thing for everyone is to be on purpose and not be afraid, and to have money. Because when you have money, you can do so much good. Not to be attached to money, not to be attached to stuff, but to be able to be free. Yeah. So I do everything that I can possibly do when I pray for others, for them to have great success financially. I get them to listen to my Magnet to Money song as much as they can, and do all of those things, not for materialistic reasons, but so that they can lift themselves out of depression and lift themselves into a life that is of service, because it's very, very challenging to be of service when you can't even service yourself, you know, when you can't look after yourself. So I love it when I see people win. And then I love it when they go deeper, because when they're not afraid anymore, they can then allow themselves to be more open and receptive, to be able to surrender to that diamond and become that diamond.
Yes.
Everybody can.
Everybody
can.
And I 100% believe that. I believe that everybody has a right to be abundant, and being abundant through the process of being who they were meant to be. Because, when you are abundant and you're being who you are meant to be, you're serving the planet in a much more powerful, positive way. And when you're doing that and everybody's doing that, the world ultimately becomes a more peaceful, powerful place, I believe. And so you're helping people to step into the role that they were meant to be. And, you cannot step into your full realized self unless you have access to all of the tools that are required for all of our use in order to become all that we're meant to be. Just like in The Science of Getting Rich. I love how he, talks about, I don't know if you're familiar also with that material, but.
Oh yeah. I've done a whole audio book on it.
Yes, I imagine you have.
Yeah. I did it so that, because some people still didn't get it. I did The Science of Being Great as well. And so I did the mystical and realizations of what it really means and what he's truly saying when he's saying, because it's got nothing to do with ego. It's the opposite to ego. So that people could really understand what a great being he was. He wasn't going into the materialistic thing. He was doing this so that people could awaken. And I love his books, love them.
Yeah, I do too. I think we get so much of the truth really comes from these way older writings, and so much of that awakening, somehow or another it went under the radar for so long, and now in the last decade it's kind of coming a little bit more out to the forefront, but back then, I mean, people were writing the truth about how to awaken and how to become a full, realized spiritual being. And so, so much of that material is just really important.
Well, the Buddha started it with the Dhammapada. We are what we think. All that we are arises with our thoughts. With our thoughts, we make the world. It wasn't a secret 2,500 years ago. Buddha taught it to everybody.
Yes. So how does a person typically get on the path to finding you, and what sort of person is usually interested in pursuing this spiritual path?
Someone who wants to be free, and they want to be on purpose, and they want to live a better life. We have people, our members in 26 different countries right now. Some of them don't even speak English, but they can feel the light being transmitted to them. And oh my gosh, what do we got? Doctors, bakers, dentists, young students. We've got people from all walks of life, from 26 different countries so far and rising. And it's a soul type, a soul that can feel it. They really want to go deeper. And there's something that they feel is truth. And so what we are doing is allowing right now people to have a month free, just to see if they like it. And then if they want to go further, it's only $50 a month anyway. That's all we charge.
That's
to have
beautiful.
all of that being given to them. But with your listeners, I've got something special. Can I give it to you now?
Yes, absolutely. I was literally just getting ready to ask you that, because I know that my listeners of Power of Your Mind podcast, I mean, think about it. It's the power of your mind, and you're teaching people how to do that with all of the wonderful services that you provide. So please do share what you have in store for our listeners.
Well, the first book I ever wrote in 1991 was Affirmation Power.
Affirmation Power.
And at one of my events a couple of years ago, I gave away all the old copies. I thought, oh, that's an old book. And I got such feedback from it. They said, wow, you should teach more about affirmation power. Why are you going to stop releasing this book? So what I did instead at the beginning of this year is I rewrote it. So it's all the same sections that I originally wrote, but with added stuff and with a little bit about my story. So it's called the Magic of Affirmation Power.
Ooh, I love
And
it.
it's got all the different chapters, all the different things that happened to me, visualization, tons of affirmations. And so everyone's going to get that for free, the Magic of Affirmation Power. But
Ooh, I love
please
it.
open the ebook when you get it, because what I'm gifting you are some of my most powerful affirmation songs, the magnetic creative visualization program, which totally assists you to see the things that you want to see. It allows you to see them, not someone else guiding you to see, oh, look at this or that. It's a visualization I'd always wanted. All the visualizations I would get over the years, I'm like, they don't shut up. Now look at this.
And give you a chance to visualize it.
Yeah, now do this, ding, 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 da, da, da. And I was like, I'm going to do one that will really, really work with the beautiful angel music I'm going to create underneath it, relax their entire body first, give them plenty of time to visualize it. And people love it. Some people just go to sleep with it every night, listening to it. They'll get that. They're going to get something Bob and I did, which is so much fun, Bob Proctor and I. It's a turbocharged goal setting and action planner with the audio. The first audio I ever did with Bob, the first song I ever wrote, especially for one of his talks, was Action. And it's a great audio program along with the ebook so that people can start really getting their act together and learning how to truly goal set in a simple step-by-step way so they can create something from beginning to end easily. Also, one of our best-selling videos, The Power of the Practice, The Power and the Magic of Affirmations and Meditation. And so just more, actually, there's more than that. I can't remember everything that's in it, but there's links to all of that and you get them absolutely free, plus a month, a free month to the mystical experience. So you can get in there and check it all out, come on the Zoom calls. We have at least 1 to 2 free Zoom meetings every month as well at the moment to assist people to meet each other and to be able to brainstorm and meditate and yell out affirmations and really just have so much fun. I just love that we have so much laughter, hysterical laughter, and so much fun together. And even the people who can't speak English end up laughing because laughter is absolutely impossible not to start laughing when someone else is just nearly wetting themselves.
Yes. This is incredible. This is actually, I'm just going to say it. And for those of you who want to be guests on my future shows, you're going to have to try to figure out how you can top this, because this has got to be one of the best packages of freebies that I've ever had a guest, put together for this show. So I just want to thank you for your generosity. And I just want to, tell my guests, by the way, where do they go to get this? And it'll be in the show notes, but I just want to say it auditorily so that
Michele Blood with one L. MicheleBlood. Don't blame me. It's my father's name. MichelleBlood.com.
MichelleBlood.com.
/the power of your mind.
The power of your mind. All right. That's easy enough to remember. Victoria,
which is one of my favorite names ever.
Oh, thank you. I
love that name. I just, it's so powerful. I don't know if it's because of Queen Victoria, but it's feminine and it's strong all at the same time. It's lovely.
Thank you so much. I have always loved my name. I mean, pretty much from the day I turned 18, because before that it was Vicky. And now that is like so cringe-worthy if somebody ever calls me Vicky.
Oh, no, girlfriend, you're not just, Vicky. You're Victoria.
I'm not Vicky. Like, don't do that. Like, that's just, no. My name is Victoria, and it is lovely, and I'm so grateful for my name. And I love the name Michele too. You have a very strong, powerful name. And you have such a, loving, strong, powerful presence as well. And I just feel so uplifted right now after listening to you. This is amazing. The time went by so fast. I can't believe we've actually been doing this an hour. I mean, I just feel I already feel like my vibration has raised just from talking to you. And I'm hoping that, and I'm sure that my listeners are feeling the same way. And so I just want to thank you so much for being on the guest. Did we leave anything out? Is there anything else that you would like to share with our audience? I know you do a lot of live events, and you do things like that. I mean, is there anything else that you'd like to kind of like leave our listeners knowing about you before we close up the show today?
Well, if you just go to micheleblood.com with one L, you'll see the tabs to all the different websites, because we've got mystical greeting cards that are absolutely adorable.
Oh, I'd love to see
we've got
those. Oh,
tons
they're
of
beautiful.
beautiful greeting cards that just uplift people. Happy birthday, you can have your cake and your enlightenment too. So we've got so many things that people, because I love that people can send a fun, beautiful spiritual card that is infused with light. No one needs to know about it, and just say, oh, I just thought this would cheer you up. I thought it was cute. They don't have to be on a mystical path for you to be able to.
They don't even know they're getting the light.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
That's great.
Got to be tricky sometimes to get the light out there.
Yes. Oh, that's great. I love it. I love it. Well, you are definitely sharing the light with the world in such positive ways, and just exuding this beauty and this power and this peace, and helping people to transform in powerful, positive ways. And I'm just, I really, really enjoyed our conversation. I really enjoy this connection. And so our listeners, go to micheleblood.com with one L and / the Power of Your Mind podcast to get those gifts, but find out all about the rest of the things that you can find out about, all the wonderful, the cards, the events, the websites that Michele does at just the main site, micheleblood.com. Thank you so much for sharing all of your gifts and your story with us. It was wonderful.
Well, I thank you, because it's so wonderful to be interviewed by a like-minded person who understands, because you write about it. You've got best-selling books about it. So, you'll make the Buddha proud.
Oh, I love that. Love making the Buddha proud. That is awesome. All right. Well, thank you so much